such a little camera.
Still kicking.
Made even better after
it's 3 to 4 inches, Ryan. It's the best we can do.
It's all we can afford.
All right, I'm ready for you all.
I'm just saying, if you're ever going to White Castle in your time of need and they ignore you, just know that it's not your time of need. Find somewhere else. It's fine.
Okay, after work beer day.
We're singing Hampshire Valley in my old Kentucky home. Kentucky.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Kentucky Commons Radio Hour. Joined here at Brewgrass Homebrew Supply tonight by David Satterley, Jahn and Ryan Reed. I'm Michael Moeller, and we have two guests that we'll get to here in a second because we're going to talk to you guys in a second. That's why you're here. But first, I do want to plug the Patreon.
On that little 3 or 4 inch camera.
You can see the individuals right now. If you had the Patreon content video, it's $3 a month. You can do that. Right, John? You can do that.
I subscribe, and I'm dirt poor.
Yeah,
I'm living off the Patreon.
And you own the
subscribed.
Patreon, but you still subscribe because you recognize that the content is that good.
Yeah.
I also think the extra 10 seconds of knowing who the guests are before we tell them who they are is worth it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, there's so many last minute scramble shenanigans that are happening behind the scenes as we're setting up the podcast. That you don't get to see that if you're just listening. You're living in 2D, man. Live in 3D with us at patreon.com/KYCommons.
I think all the terrible jokes that we cut out for the audio feed, maybe I'll start leaving in on the Patreon feed. So maybe we'll try that this week with all these great jokes we were just cracking.
Yeah. But that said, happy to be joined tonight by Ryan Reed and Kyle Jahn of a future brewery in planning called Trellis here in Louisville.
Current brewery in planning. Future brewery.
Future brewery currently in planning.
Yeah.
A currently planned brewery.
It gets confusing.
Allegedly.
Anybody can just plan a brewery.
And just in case we say anything, that's not authorized, we should mention this brewery. It's all only happening in Minecraft. None of this is in the real world. Everything we're talking about is a Minecraft world we're building.
Okay. It is a Bitcoin.
That is what the lawyers said to say.
Yeah, in Minecraft.
So Kyle and Ryan, we're going to hear you all talk about this project here in a second. But first, I wanted to open up something because we usually start the show up with a little surprise for our guests. And the first thing that we're actually going to crack open before we even get to start talking about you all,
I have been eyeing that,
is 15 Stars Fine Aged Bourbon. 15 Stars sent us this bourbon to try on the show.
Thank you.
It's aged 7 and 15 years. So it's a blend. That's what that means. It's a blend. David, if you want to pour these out, and I'll read what actually is going on here, because you guys like bourbon, right?
You asked the guy with the microphone.
Yep. Here, I'll mic you up. You can give commentary while you pour.
7 or 15 or both. Maybe if you
I think it's and. I think it's 7 and 15 blend.
We think it's multiple choice
specifically.
Yeah.
We need more cups.
Can you grab those wonderful glasses that we got from the Fraser History Museum Summer Beer Fest last weekend? And we'll use those as tasters.
You use that instead of the plastic. Yeah, so this is 15 Stars Timeless Reserve is a marriage of both 14 and 15-year-old Kentucky bourbons, reflecting 15 Stars' focus on selectively sourcing aged whiskeys for blending.
That's cool.
Sure. 15 Stars uses what they call flavor proofing.
Hey.
That sounds like a marketing term. Sure. To select the proof that, in their opinion, brings the best out of the very best flavors of the whiskey for neat drinking.
I like it.
Neat.
What proof are we at?
This release is set at a medium proof, Ryan, of 103.
I like a good medium proof.
The total release
sorry. The bottle says 107.
I like a good 107 proof.
All right, there we go. So the website doesn't match the bottle. I'm sure it's fine.
What was the proofing method called again?
Flavor proofing.
Flavor proofing, yeah.
So it's like organoleptic, but easy to say.
They use flavor proofing to select the proof.
Oh.
It's like, we don't know what this is. We want it flavor proof.
Yeah.
That is an easily digestible way to say organoleptic. I like it.
Oh, there. See, this is why you're on the
There
show.
it is.
Or to announce that you worked with Guy Fieri.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Flavor Town, baby.
I don't know. Maybe.
He's done so many great things for hospitality.
15
industry.
Stars celebrates Kentucky history. Huh.
Now, David, you did make us get these nice glasses, and then you're proceeding not to use them. We only have 4 though, so.
David's scared of dishes.
You do
obviously.
you. You do you.
Michael is trying to explain the bourbon.
In
Okay,
1795, Kentucky was recognized as the 15th U.S. state on the historic 15-star and 15-striped U.S. flag, the second flag of the nation. Wow. So they decided to say that at 15 states is where they're going to create a second flag.
Also, bitch, we a commonwealth. That's all I'm saying. We ain't no state.
Yeah.
But
All right, so
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
I'll say too, this is one of the second or third care packages we've got to the show. If you guys have a brand out there that you want to have us talk about and you think your product is good, 2227 South Preston Street.
Oh, and actually, we're already getting packages that I just haven't brought yet.
Nice. care of David Satterley or care of Bucky the Beaver.
They will be kept at Michael Muller's house.
Yeah, I don't drink it all. I bring these along. Yeah.
No, I mean just indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
He's not gonna bring
Absolutely.
it. They're just going to
Yeah.
stay there.
We always talk about the bottle or the vessel. So I'm going to do a quick overview. This is a 200 milliliter glass vessel with an electrical tape wrap top. We do have a nice even pocket size vessel. So slip right in either front pocket, pants pocket.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like those in coats.
Probably not back pocket. And also, this is private stock, tax paid sample. We're not reselling this on the internet. Like Michael said, age 7 to 15 years, 53.5% ABV. And we have drank probably 100 milliliters of it.
Yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's test it.
Oh, that fits right in.
Ooh,
See, this is what you miss out when you're not
perfect.
doing video. You don't even know what just happened because
There
you're
it
not
is.
watching on video. But That's incredible.
Perfect shirt slip.
so yeah, we always just like to start off with the drink in our hand, just get us all.
Also, if you're not on our
pretty good.
Patreon, am I just going to hold this microphone in your face for the rest of the episode, David? 'Cause
All right.
It's back.
Patreon.
At least I'm good
So
for
enjoy
something
that.
around here.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, cheers,
Cheers.
guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
So
Let's
some
do
good
that.
Kentucky bourbon from a brand I've never had before.
Well, they're new, I think.
If it's terrible, we will say.
I believe they source their barrels from somewhere, or they source their liquid from somewhere, but they do age it in Bardstown. So we will say that.
I'm a big fan of that. First thing I noticed is it's very like viscous. It's got a nice body to it. It is not thin for being a high proof. And as I breathe in, like I'm getting some heat off of it on the back of my palate. It's very kind of.
That's straight chocolate.
I was gonna say like kind of a big Tannenbaum like forward flavor, woody.
Pepper.
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
definitely taste the wood. Like, got a good wood.
Milk chocolate malt.
It is good
probably.
wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little milk chocolate is kind of what I get there too. I agree. I'm not mad at that at all.
It's fine. It's for retail. It's a $279 bottle.
Ooh.
Oh,
So this is a very generous and gracious gift
yeah. Well, thank you
to
guys.
sample from.
for
so,
sending it.
Yeah.
All right. We're
I don't
blowing
know
our
if I
budget.
got-
We're not opening the brewery. We're buying one bottle.
Yeah, invest it.
Yeah. I don't know if it
I
was
like
this.
the price or the proof, but I got goosebumps. So I'll let you decide.
It's probably the excellent podcast guests.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So
today.
thanks guys again for joining. We really appreciate it. You're opening up a brewery here in Louisville. You've been looking at some locations. Might have gone down to a few of them at this point. But tell us about who you are. Why are you doing this? Where you come from?
My first question with people opening a brewery is like, you guys are both craft beer lovers, and home brewers and whatnot. Why did you guys decide to start hating your hobby by turning it into a
Just got sick of
profession?
coming here, John. Like,
Yep. Done dealing with John. Done buying homebrew equipment.
But when did that start? Like, how long have you been homebrewing?
me? So
Yeah.
I've been home brewing since 2009.
Yeah.
Like in college, started home brewing.
Was it always an ambition someday, or was that something that's?
It was always like something you thought about,
Yeah.
but like never had any real plans to do it. Just kept like home brew. Like my first brewing experience was I think it was like 20, and I learned through the internet that alcohol is made from some kind of sugar and some kind of yeast, and that like one very convenient form of that is honey. So
Yeah, sure.
I just bought a bunch of honey from the grocery store, put it in a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket,
Oh, nice.
threw in a packet of bread yeast, and put the lid on. And 2 weeks later, had terrible.
You made good like nail polish remover, or something like that. Sorry.
I mean, it got you drunk. So.
Yeah. No, we did those experiments back in college too. We would get like baker's yeast. We tried to make like hard Gatorade one time.
Mm.
We tried to make like a fermented Vietnamese coffee one time. We did a lot of just like
Way fancier
experiments
than me.
with jug. Well, we just were seeing what we could get for like cheap
Yeah.
and trying to ferment it out. So you've kept doing it. And then how'd you get into the craft beer scene, Kyle? You've been around
Oh,
the block a few times too.
Yeah, I guess my beginning's sort of unusual. In college as well, 2010, I was not the home brewer per se, but I was periphery to people in a class for home brewing
Oh,
at
cool.
Florida International University.
Mhm.
Their program is fantastic. They actually brew beer for the Chili's that's on campus.
Oh, that's wild.
It's very cool.
I don't know if I've ever been to a Chili's that like featured like local made like super micro craft beer.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they still do all that, but I was hanging out with a group of friends and they were in the class and they were deciding what to brew together. And all of them got very inebriated and I ended up taking over without knowing anything about the subject, anything like that. And we made probably the worst beer I've ever tasted. It was an IPA and it tasted
awesome.
like banana pith specifically, like just straight up banana pith.
So it was a Hefeweizen?
I wish. It was the worst parts of what a Hefeweizen like can be. But then fast forward, moved to DC after college, start working at restaurants while I'm waiting to get some big fancy government job, and then fall in love with beer on the way. And I ended up starting brewing professionally before I really homebrewed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did a batch or two and then started working at a place called 3 Stars in DC 2 days a week for free.
It wasn't called 15 stars.
No.
It only had one.
No, it was
Stars.
3 stars after the DC flag. And unfortunately, they closed recently after
Really?
10 years in business. So
So you kind of come
big
at
bummer.
it like from the homebrew perspective, and you kind of come at it from like the commercial perspective. Do you guys like
For sure.
how do those perspectives meet? Where you guys decide to go into business together?
And also, I mean, how did you all meet?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, they meet in very funny ways sometimes. Some of the homebrewer ideas we have to, and professional brewer ideas, Ryan asks great questions where it's simple and concise. And why?
No, how
Like,
did you and
how-
Ryan meet?
Why?
That's How did you
Oh.
and Ryan meet?
We
Oh.
met through a good friend, Michael Muller.
Yeah,
that's where
strangely
we're-
enough.
yeah, that's where we're
strangely
going
enough.
here.
I was
Yeah.
gonna get to that part.
Yeah, Kyle and I have both been independently starting a brewery for maybe like 6 months before we've been planning it for forever. You know, it's like always in the back of your head. kind of thinking about it.
2012, I think. I was.
It's like when somebody's planning their wedding. Like they don't actually have that partner yet, but like they're planning it. Like they have the Pinterest boards.
You
Yeah.
bought the ring.
Have you
Just
all
like-
bought a ring?
Not yet.
Have y'all touched knees yet?
We're gonna
Oh, they're
yes,
just
right now.
resting against each
we're gonna
other.
start with hats, I think, and,
There you
see
go.
how it goes.
It's a lower barrier to entry for sure.
But I remember talking, I think, to Michael, and he was just like, "You have to meet this Ryan guy. He's also trying to start a brewery." And so, I reached out, and we had our awkward like start a business first date.
It was a date for
It
sure.
was such a date at
Who
Public
paid?
House.
Who paid?
No, we split it.
I think
Fucking 2022.
Dutch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm just
Yeah.
making sure we're in the current
I would have paid for it,
generation.
So yeah, and Brian he already had a name that I really liked. He had a business plan. And I remember him after we got further and kept hanging out and drinking beer, he showed them to me and I was like, well, it's missing, the passion, the identity. Here's what I see. And I mean, I think
Yeah, it's worked really well. Like, so I'd come at it from like a business consulting engineering background. So writing business plans was like something pretty normal, and financial statements.
You want a job with Ale Trail?
Yeah.
Maybe, but we'll talk.
Yeah.
I thought you all were nonprofit.
So this thing was like technically a business plan, but you like read it and it's like, this is boring as shit. So Kyle added the soul.
Yeah. That's what's cool about some of my favorite breweries too, is that there's a lot of different reasons to love a brewery. So number one, there's like the beer, obviously. And like in a lot of situations that comes first and like that's where your head is. But then there's the business model behind that too, because you're not just making beer. You have to make beer at enough profit to like not go into bankruptcy, or some people do fund their businesses that way, but not ideal. But then there's also like that storytelling aspect. So kind of knowing beyond just the beer, like what the company's about, and kind of the quote unquote like business model part of that or whatever. It's like figuring out how you tell that story and just like how you proliferate the message and the product to the people. Is there kind of an overarching vision about, or do you, so can we say the name of Trellis? Yeah. So
Yeah,
Trellis is the name of the brand.
Trellis.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that you guys are have come up with,
Can
which
we
I
say
love.
the Trellis name? Can we say that?
Trellis.
For sure.
Trellis.
No, we're out and about. We're public. Trellis. I mean, I love, so Ryan came with this name Trellis, and I just saw it as such a great neutral structure. And then we start going through it, like, what is a trellis? What is this business? And I was like, this business is a structure that people in communities can grow on.
There you go.
You know, we can bring up wherever we end up going with us. We can support people properly that we work with and make some really delicious things for people to enjoy together,
I
build
think
community and
Yeah.
be a big part of it.
Yeah, like you all embodying that even in your initial kind of surveying. You're looking at a potential spot that happened to be in my neighborhood, and you're out canvassing the neighborhood and saying, "Hey,
In Minecraft.
we're here. How can we help?" You know, and that I
Well,
think that
and like,
goes-
do you want us? Like,
Yeah. Do
should
you want
we-
to?
Yeah.
Do you want a brewery here?
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yes, you do.
I do.
And
You
the
do.
feedback was overwhelmingly positive. So we walked 2 blocks in every direction and just met everyone we could and said, hey, like, what are your thoughts? Like, this is what we want to do. This is what we're about. Anyone can do beer. We want to hire from the neighborhood. We want to train
Mhm.
people, take care of them properly. Do you want us here? And I'd say
Literally everyone.
literally every single person we met was like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, that building that we would prospectively really like as our best case scenario has been vacant for a very
Yeah.
long time. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have something great for
Kind of
That
jumping
specific
around here a
neighborhood.
little bit, but neither of you are from Louisville, right?
No, Kansas City originally.
Yeah.
Sarasota, Florida, by way of DC and Seattle.
So you find yourselves here in Louisville. Ryan, I think you've been here for a while though, but
8 years.
yeah. But Kyle's 2 years.
March 2020.
Yeah. So you find
Good
your way
stuff.
here, and like this, the prospective location that you're looking at, that's in a neighborhood that could use a business like that. And you're talking about community, but like that would be awesome for them to be able to just to walk to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about like the kind of the neighborhood aspect
Yeah,
of it.
please.
Is like we want to be like super mindful that's not our neighbor. Like we're not from Louisville. Like we're like asking to be invited into this neighborhood. And I think part of the name, like just being that neutral structure,
Mhm.
it's just a place. It's like a hub that people go to. And
It reminds me of a song from the 80s. I think the lyrics go, I want you to want me.
Oh, there you go. That's true though.
I need
And
you to need me.
Yeah.
I can only really speak to it like the neighborhood we're in, which is like the Germantown and adjacent like neighborhoods and whatnot. But when new businesses come in like that, we're in a neighborhood around here that like people are starting to throw around the G word of like gentrifying and like things coming in. But anybody could kind of come in and like throw up big condos and then just put a couple little commercial spaces down there and try to rent them out to like whoever. And maybe it ends up being a bar or something. But a craft brewery is so different in that
Local
like a local brewery.
Local
Yeah.
I would say that was a major concern. And that was a big reason for that, because we were trying to figure out, tax abatement, like how do we get involved and move? But it's already flipped. Like, we haven't signed anything, we haven't announced anything, and the home values have already skyrocketed in this area.
Mhm.
I mean, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So
But I think it's
become
awesome.
different than we thought.
And it's
But-
not like a bar going in where neighbors kind of will give you some pushback. There's going to be people here at like 4 a.m. playing loud music and like going crazy. People kind of know that the craft brewery vibe is a little bit more like
Yeah.
community based. It's a little bit more just about creating that third space or like being one of the original just like Amelia's doing at it. Shippingport, like kind of in that neighborhood now. It's one of the first things to go into a neighborhood that's actually going to be organically revitalized. Always kind of maybe seems to be a craft brewery.
Yeah.
It's a
Like,
good leading
yeah.
indicator or cause.
So breweries are like, they're not just serving beer, but they're making, so you get that manufacturing process along with the like hospitality side. So
Yeah, exactly.
like it really is like a very applicable job to learn to lots of other industries, and a way to get into kind of manufacturing.
yeah.
I think some like things that we touch on sometimes are that the like local neighborhood joints are not necessarily like you can look at it as a brewery, right? And essentially that's what it is. But it becomes a meeting spot, a community hub, an event space, a place to hold meetings, etc. And that value in that is just something that you can't buy, and it happens to serve beer, just restaurant, bodega type, anything else would do as well. But
Sure.
Definitely have non-alcoholic options, cocktails and wine, and be welcoming to pretty much everyone.
So do you have an idea of what kind of beer
Not
you want to
pretty much
focus
everyone.
on? I mean, is there any kind of styles that you all would prefer to lean in on, or
For sure. Yeah. Do you want me to go? Okay.
Do I want the brewer to talk about the beer?
Yeah. Also,
seems awkward.
You all asked about the
You can
travel.
talk about how to clean the cake.
I should say, so living on this journey from Florida, that homebrew, I started working in hospitality. I've traveled DC, Seattle, worked in hospitality and beer the whole time. And it was so unsustainable, and I couldn't afford a house. I could not afford to open a business, any of that stuff, pretty much ever, unless, I just got in with someone and worked for them. So coming here, I saw that potential. And we were going somewhere and I lost it.
Just like lower cost of living and like just lower
Louisville's
cost.
a hotbed
there was
for
somewhere I was going with that,
entrepreneurship.
and I just
You were going to talk about the beer.
That was good.
oh yeah, beer. So
The one thing you're in charge
I was like,
of.
my brain's a million miles a minute. I was like, oh yeah, there was something.
It's that
We
it's
were.
that
You asked
5-star,
me about
15-star
history.
You were
I didn't-
laying the
I didn't
groundwork.
really sell any. Okay, so along those travels, I did get to pick up some incredible techniques and connections to ingredients and all that sort of stuff. So I'm very excited to bring some of that here to Louisville, because I haven't seen anyone doing some of the things we were doing on the West Coast and in DC. So part of that, we can maybe start with the ingredients. I think that's a pretty big thing for us. So moving here, I realized we didn't have anything, or nobody really knew of anything that was really locally focused when it came to ingredients to beer. So I started searching, and through Nick Landers at Gordon Biersch, actually, I found Russell T. Case at South Fork. So one of the main ingredients is malt, and he's a third generation no-till farmer making absolutely fantastic malt, which we were pretty shocked about when we walked in there, because he's in Cynthiana, and you get there, you're like, well, hopefully this is good. And you taste
Sometimes
his
you
malt.
do if you want to stay local. Sometimes there are sacrifices that you make, and like hops is another example. But his stuff is amazing.
It's so good. And then there was the other part where he was like, come to my fields. I was like, oh God, they're going to be fallow and super awkward. He's a no-till farmer. His stuff is super thoughtfully harvested and grown with respect to the environment, and it tastes great. So we solved one piece of the puzzle there, which allows us, having that connection, to lean into some of the brewing styles that I've fallen in love with. So the beer, with that really long-winded answer, it's pretty German influenced on the upstairs, because for where we want to go, we want to have clean beer upstairs and a mixed culture program in the basement.
Oh, neat.
So, we have a bunch of crushable, delicious light beers, some pretty robust IPAs and ales. I love barley wine, so that's one thing we're going to make that, I hope we get some support from everyone in. But if
I
everyone,
think you'll be okay with some good barley wine.
okay,
There's some
I mean,
barley wine lovers around this town.
and it really is about the community that supports us too, because we'll do these and see how they fall and cater to what people want to drink in a lot of ways, but there are just some things we won't sacrifice for it. So then downstairs will be a mixed culture, barrel, beer and wood sort of deal.
Hot question.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to cater to beers that people want? Or are you going to follow your altruistic brewer's instinct?
I think it's possible to do both. We're using some very heady techniques that really showcase that grain, such as decoction, step mashing, some really heady things. But the main thing is that the beer is delicious and drinkable, and we don't want to serve it with pretense. So hospitality forward, friendly environment, where you can just come and drink something. But if you want to know why it's delicious, we hope to empower everyone with that knowledge and really embrace the little things we're doing in back to showcase these, slightly German influenced, but unabashedly American things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was
But-
going to say, like, for a little time that we've been talking about this, obviously for several months for planning, you'll have kind of hit on education as being a part of your overall plan. Do you want to share any of that?
As far as educating staff, or
I think that you had mentioned kind of like more of a formal, like you get this beer, you understand where it came from.
Yeah.
Various other
Oh,
aspects.
I
of
think
it.
that's what people want. Like you were pointing out the dichotomy between like, do you brew what you want or do you brew for the crowds? But in this postmodern, like post new NEPA, post fruity sour popcorn beer world that we now live in the year of our Lord 2022, I think people appreciate more like those simple kind of German styles. But really, you kind of want, at least in my personal experience and opinion, people are more thirsty for understanding the history behind the style, and like so being able to bridge that gap might be a way to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's something that's super important to us. Like, one, just being honest about what we're doing and very transparent about what we're doing, but also telling the stories of someone like Russell T. Case that like everyone should know. This guy's awesome. You go there and you look at his equipment, like puts breweries to shame on like how nice it is. And like the way he talks about it's just like listening to Kyle talk about beer, but he's just talking about like grain that he spins really slowly in a drum for a while. So we want to like tell those stories.
Kind of reminds me of how Kyle talks.
Yeah.
It's like grain spinning slowly in a drum.
great.
So
It's got to be a beer, right?
yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is like we're keeping track. Like all businesses have to keep track of like where they buy their products from and how they like when they dump a bag of grain into a mash tun. Like that's just stuff that like one, you have to track just for like accounting, but two, like with the TTB, like it's legally required. So there's all these like different data points that get collected throughout like the purchasing of grain and ingredients, transforming it into a beer and then selling it. Like we want to keep track of all of that and like and show that to people. We want to tell that story.
Yeah.
Like the grain to glass story of
Yeah.
how that beer was made.
Have either of you been to Urban Artifact up in Cincinnati?
I have not.
I've not. I've tried some of their beers.
So one thing that kind of mimics what you're saying though is they keep track of the amount of pounds of fruit that they put into their beer,
Okay.
and then they had
You would hope so.
100,000 and then X number of marks past that. But the concept of tracking those things and being intentional is super important. I guess my question was more on the education of the beer. You know, like you said, being open, honest, transparent about what you're making, and kind of passing that knowledge on to the consumer so they can not really like an informed decision, but like they kind of feel vested in like, this is what I'm drinking and I understand how it was made, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think what we're going for is unusual in the fact that we're striving for balance of flavor. Sometimes that takes patience and investment in both materials and time. So, you know, giving lagers more time, using maybe whole fruit downstairs in blending tanks grown by hopefully a local orchard. If anyone knows a local orchard, hit us up, because we do want to partner in the long term with businesses like these and grow together, which we think will lead to a better product.
Have you given any thought to the tap room atmosphere side of things? What does the consumer get, and what is that environment like?
Well, definitely kid friendly. We don't want it to be sterile whatsoever. We want it to be warm. We want you to be able to stay there for a whole day and really, you know, settle in and drink some beer or, you know, soda, have some meetings.
Are there any
come afterward?
Are there any breweries either in Louisville or just anywhere that you've been or worked at or visited that inspires the tap room that you want?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if we can.
That you can speak to.
I mean, geez, inspiring breweries.
Does it rhyme with or if the fourth?
No.
Oh.
I
took a
don't.
minute.
I don't know anything that rhymes with that. I would say.
Are you gonna do wood planks? I heard that's like wood planks.
we
metal
we
chairs.
do hope to have big chunky trellises on the property,
Nice.
because
Okay.
I think that does make sense if everything works that way. But I would say Wayfinder
Ooh.
is a huge inspiration. Anyone from the Will Kemper School of Lager, their beers and definitely some of their tap rooms have been truly enlightening. The mixed culture scene, you know, I don't know if I ever talked to you all personally, but my first trip to the West Coast, we drove the whole way from San Diego to Seattle and hit 25 breweries on the way.
Wow.
And I still think of some of those places.
How do you remember that?
Well, I understand. How you
It was
remember the
also
first one and two.
2012 when I was looking at opening a brewery, but
Talked a little bit about like you guys building your brand in the taproom location, but as far as you guys are both, you know, as we said, not Louisville natives. So we're a little bit insular when we think about Louisville's emerging kind of craft beer, small business culture. How do you guys view where Louisville is today versus places you all have lived and kind of been involved in the beer scene in the past? Are we still up and coming? Are we oversaturated, as some people say in Facebook or on Facebook groups all the time?
Yeah,
I don't think they're oversaturated.
So I moved here
Plenty of
from
work.
Chicago in 2013, and like actually at that time, like Chicago had a lot of brewery, but like it wasn't like the like explosion that it's had now, where there's like hundreds of breweries. So I was just used to like having kind of lots of options, lots of like different like places to go, and then moved here, and I remember the kind of week I moved into my house, Great Flood opened in the Highlands, and that was maybe the
nice
fourth brewery or some fifth brewery.
People forget how old Great Flood is, man. Those
Yeah.
guys have been around.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so like I feel like I'd kind of seen the first start of like a brewery wave in Chicago, and then saw it here, and just like how much like farther back it was. But there's like a lot of energy with the beer scene here, which is the part that's like really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Kyle? Give us some of that West Coast wisdom or Florida wisdom.
Oh gosh, we are so undersaturated. Like compared to Seattle and Portland and DC was actually emerging when I worked there. We were I think fourth brewery that opened in DC as 3 stars. DC Brow had the legislation changed, but yeah, we're just starting. I feel like for our population, we have a lot of room to grow. And then
I was going to say, who do you think drinks more? Florida or Kentucky?
Oh, I thought you were like me or Kyle.
No, no.
Oh, that's close.
Oh,
I'm not getting personal with this.
Florida or Kentucky?
I don't know. When
as
you,
Florida
when you
people
say
put it
we're
away, but
I was gonna say it's interesting. I grew up there, but I left when I was 22. So for me, when I think of nostalgia or formative years or drinking, it's all DC or Seattle or Portland. I would say all those areas drink a lot more, especially DC. It's government.
yeah. I
They
feel like
drink-
one of the
they
things
drink
that
a lot
like
to
a
keep
lot
that
of the
running.
more like classic craft beer like cities and stuff embraced a long time ago. I think people in Kentucky drink just as much as people in like big beer cities and big beer states, but we kind of lost the drink local vibe. We kind of lost the like go to the neighborhood brewery to the kind of prohibition really was like when it knocked out, because historically we were right there with St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee, like all the big boys.
This was actually like in our business plan.
Mhm.
We went through and like the Brewers Association reports on like how much beer is sold out of every city, like every county, how much beer is like sold out of a tap room versus a microbrewery. So we went through and like looked at all the tap rooms and added up all the beer that was sold in every county and divided it by the number of people that lived there.
Yeah.
And for cities with less than like 500,000 people, Louisville was like 47th on the list. And Indianapolis and Cincinnati were 2 and 3.
That was what I was gonna say. Is like,
And it
even
was
those-
just like people can't be different between Louisville and Cincinnati or Louisville and Indy. Like,
hey, I think
You're
at
not
one
that
point
far
in
apart.
time, like a few years ago, back when when Beer Engine was still in Danville and Lore was still open, I think Danville was the number one craft breweries per capita in the entire nation, because they had 2
Because they
for a
had 2.
population of like 8,000 or however like fewer people live in Danville proper.
So that sounds like a great time to segue into our next segment of a show and tell. We always ask our guests to bring something that they like to share for the group. I think Kyle walked in here with a bag, and
Mystery ice bag.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what you got.
The mystery ice bag segment.
Oh, I love that pattern.
Should we
Where did
start
you get
with,
that?
See if you
This
you
is
are
a
on Patreon,
wedding gift, actually.
If you,
it's
if-
beverages first, right?
Yeah, beverages are first. Yeah,
Okay.
you know,
Dealer's choice.
I mean, I assume.
Yeah,
You listen
something
to the
you
podcast.
love that is beer, and something you
Ooh.
love that is not beer.
Or
Well,
actually,
or
I'm
beverage.
gonna keep these all here.
Cold little frosty glasses.
So these are tiny little thumb size tasters.
I think I already know what this is.
I need to finish my bourbon.
But notice that they're chilled. Like he brought them in an ice bath.
I already know.
This is the type of hospitality. You
Are
can
we about to
expect
do
from
Jaeger
Kyle
bombs?
Young.
No, I know what this is. I think
Kyle loves tiny glasses.
don't know what this is.
I know what that is.
Is this
You have no idea what this is.
Like what's up on the I know what that is.
Is this orgeat? I wish it was.
Again, the people watching
You
get so much value
Yeah.
right here.
like you see a mason jar full of clear-ish liquid
Ice
being poured
cold.
into another mason jar.
Is this Kentucky
We're not
Lightning?
going to tell them what this is. We all have to drink it blind.
And then go
You're
blind.
not hosting this podcast, Kyle.
He is now.
Oh, no. I was speaking from
The
Ryan
mason
and
jar
I's
gives him the
bath.
power. It's like Lord of the
No.
Flies, but whoever has the mason jar full of booze is in charge of the podcast.
Cheers.
I mean, hold on.
Can you
Well,
give-
we don't have to.
All right,
you
all
don't have
right.
to
We're
chug
just,
it.
so we're just gonna
Jeez.
drink it. All right.
Yeah,
let's
we're just
cheers.
gonna smell it and drink it,
Cheers, guys.
and then we'll talk about it. Sometimes it's good to taste things blind, right?
So it smells like
Okay, that's disgusting.
garlicky, lemony, like
I hate that.
what is that? What is that? Oh, wait, what
I'm
is
a
that
huge
aroma?
fan of this.
I've
Huge
been-
fan.
Oh
I've
wait,
been-
what is that aroma? Hang on one second.
No, it's fucking terrible.
This is no, this is fantastic.
It smells
I
like a
love
flavor
this
that I know
so
so
much.
well.
Did anyone else take it as a shot?
This smells
No,
like
just me.
Oh, I
sweat.
did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, I wanted to taste
I got
first
you,
because
brother.
this is really good.
really good. Is that
It's
what we
something.
call it?
It's not garlic. It's something like.
Can you just shut up and drink it, and then we can talk about it? You're the last one.
Don't talk on the podcast.
Don't talk. Just Patreon.
We're ready. We're ready.
It's
Oh, wasabi. Is that what that is?
It's American green wasabi.
Okay, that's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, that's why it tastes
I
like
love it.
armpits.
I'm just kidding. No, it's horseradish. Like the
Horseradish.
actual
There we
word,
go.
Which
It's similar. Actually, most American
because you
wasabi is
have a
horseradish.
bunch of
You got
radishes
it.
in your yard.
It's crazy how the horseradish
no.
like feels like alcohol.
it's not from my yard.
No, that's fantastic, man. I love that. Do you like horseradish?
What the fuck is this?
Horse-
It's like a
It's-
horseradish limoncello
Have you
type
ever
shit.
had?
No.
Ah.
Let the person who brought
sorry.
it tell us what it is.
So
That's what horseradish does to me.
I have gone to Russian restaurants such as Marivana in DC and Kachka in Portland, and they served horseradish vodka, and it is so good by itself or with food. I really enjoyed it. I really want to make it, and I
Fuck
just
yeah,
made a
dude.
batch, and then you all invited me here. And I was
Fuck
like,
yeah, dude.
I'll take a little bit
well,
more.
this
I
is in the
love that.
freezer. Oh yeah,
Oh, dude, imagine
yeah,
making like a
I
Bloody
love
Mary
this.
with that or something.
Oh, that's what I
You
think,
know?
yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
horseradish.
and I kind of just wanted to. We haven't talked very much about like the cocktails we're gonna do to many people, but we will do pre-batch
Yeah,
cocktails that are quick service,
Hell yeah.
like fast infusion.
Okay,
tap-
so for our tip to the
tap type
listeners this
stuff.
week, maybe we'll get Kyle to give us some tips on the recipe, but that's delicious,
Sure.
dude. And you made that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, not the vodka.
Well, right.
I don't.
but you
illegally
do plan on
distill-
having a good cocktail
Jeez.
program at the brewery.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's rad.
Quick service. It'll all be made ahead of time, but it is going to be quality over quantity.
Are you gonna
So-
serve like beef on weck sandwiches, like to go like? With
Oh
that?
my
like,
gosh, you know about
yeah,
that?
dude.
My dad's from Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah.
I've
I almost
been-
went
I've
to
been
college
out
in
there.
Buffalo many
Oh,
years
jeez.
ago.
I love beef on wick.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So to be
Is
clear,
it Schwabbles?
what we had
Yeah,
was a
Schwabbles.
horseradish infused vodka.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
It's
So it
fantastic.
had like the garlicky, like spicy, like
Horseradish
okay,
taste.
got it. You know what? I like horseradish on fucking sandwiches, not in my drinks. Okay.
Get this man a sandwich.
How do you feel about pickle beers?
Fuck that, dude. No.
I think that'd be perfect right after some horseradish vodka.
Ugh.
I just want to like
Yeah.
shoot that after a like big fatty tuna.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Ooh, that'd
You,
be
you
really
people
good.
who love brine really like
that wasn't salty.
But you do have
It's
to drink
white
it like
vinegar.
ice cold.
I think any of us who love that
I know you
flavor
went a
come
little
from
bit more.
cultures that probably didn't get enough vitamin D, and so like we just have some kind of like a vinegar palate to try to keep from getting scurvy.
I just
That's
really,
my theory.
I really thought
Yeah.
that, like, God damn it, I thought it was gonna be like moonshine. Like it's so clear.
I thought so. Before you pulled it out, I thought it was gonna be like limoncello or something.
It is. It's
I-
horseradish cello.
Yeah.
Minus a
Horse
bunch
cello.
of sugar. Horse cello.
This might be my least favorite clear liquid I've ever ingested.
So good.
David Satterley, not a fan of horseradish, does live in Kentucky with horses.
I like them on sandwiches. Sandwiches.
You could dunk an Arby's in that, and then just take a big
Ooh,
bite.
yeah, Arby's messed up when they made their fry vodka by not making a horsey sauce
Ooh,
vodka.
you're so right.
Whoa.
You're so right. Yeah.
Gosh.
Just keep that in the back.
Can,
pocket.
can they pay us a lot of money for that.
Yes.
Trademark. This is
We
all in
can own it
Minecraft.
together?
Trademark.
They can pay.
We're
Trademark.
making this
They can
company
pay
now.
us.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
The world.
Also, even
does.
considering,
$5.95. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I'm just saying, like, even considering drinking that warm is gag-inducing. So
No, I don't think you want to warm.
No, warm was
Yeah.
dangerous.
I don't know if it's a good warm one.
I also sometimes when you make fun like earthy herbal things like this, they're fun for cooking, or I'm sorry, they're fun for drinking, but sometimes they're even more fun for cooking with. What do you want, David?
David
Use
needs
your
a
words.
beer.
I bet
He
you want a
needs a beer.
chaser.
I need
There
a
we go.
palate.
Is
cleanse.
anybody in the region making this available to people?
Making what available?
I have
That-
not.
no.
I've not been to a
Horseradish.
place that has it.
We're keeping
but-
this secret. This is all after the podcast talk. This is that's great. Yeah.
Oh, we are serving this, so don't you all steal?
Fantastic.
Yeah, nobody can steal this.
I can't wait to never order it.
If you do,
David.
just tag Trellis.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I saw Ryan maybe walk in with something too.
I got a beverage.
You have
brought things?
you brought beverage as well. All right.
Don't.
I was going to bring a item. I have it here with me metaphorically, though.
Oh, that's fine.
'Cause
Well,
I forgot to bring the physical item.
the only people who will know are the people on our Patreon. You can just lie.
There you go.
We'll pretend it's here.
I'll hold it up.
Oh.
Oh.
You got something.
Hello.
All right.
Club
Also
soda.
homemade.
Yeah.
But this is for when you're not drinking booze. This is what I might go to.
Okay.
Is soda water and a shrub. So the shrubs shrub is an equal parts sugar, fruit, and vinegar concoction.
All right.
Oh my God.
And it's just fucking amazing.
So we're all from historically vitamin D deprived cultures around here
Yeah.
today.
Y'all are gonna have the most esoteric brewery.
I'm gonna have the most esoteric lower intestine. With all this microbiome.
Definitely
Lots
going to be
of things
approachable.
growing in
Come
here.
on.
So this one I made a couple days ago because I had a peach that was going bad. So this is overripe peach.
Yeah, let's just serve it to our friends.
Wait, you
No.
did bad peach stuff too? That's why I did all that peach stuff.
Yeah, like when you have peach, like
Man,
the secret to fruit is that when it's like so gross that you can't eat it is when it tastes the best.
Hell yeah, exactly.
So you put it into something like this.
I have a lot of figs on the fig tree, as we
Okay.
talked about last week on the podcast. But like, I'm
Fig shrub it up.
Yep, fig shrub it up.
it takes a really, really
Actually, so
impressive
I'm gonna
human
like
to grow
hand it
figs.
around for people to smell before I
okay.
like
As a
dose it.
concentrate.
Yeah, just smell it on its own.
Love it.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
All right.
smell it on
The
its
David
own.
Satterley
I'm
sniff.
for that.
So I didn't give the whole. He's so sensitive.
Why?
Old
Do you
12
just give
sniffs.
people shit? Is that your thing on the
No,
podcast?
do you know what a fucking shrub is? It's a plant. All right.
No, it's like
I'm getting like
This is
magnolia vibes, or like
Ooh.
hibiscus or magnolia.
so it's overripe peach.
Oh.
It is Thai galangal
Spoiled.
and lemon peel.
Okay, there we are.
And you mix. So you take all the fruit, you weigh it out, and this was 150 grams. So then I put 150 grams of sugar, and I let that sit for a day. And the sugar is something that like draws out
Mhm.
moisture, so it becomes like this like sugar peach slurry. And then you add 150 grams of vinegar, filter it, and then you dump it in a glass and put carbonated water with it.
What's the ratio?
Like
I love how
Vodka
precise
soda.
everything else was, and then we're like,
Give me one reason this is better.
This
than
is the
kombucha.
homebrewer side.
it's kind of a kombucha vibe. It's a kombucha vibe.
This is
I don't know, man. He used grams and when he was just
Oh,
describing,
yeah,
so like
yeah,
I feel
for
like
sure.
pretty scientific.
Well, and that's how process driven we get. We'll
Yeah.
be talking
Yeah.
about stuff.
Be like, we use the metric system, bitch.
Also,
How
I
much-
brought kefir, just to be hipster too. So if
Is that
there's
good?
any,
No. Fill it all the way up.
All the way up. Oh, jeez.
There you go. Right there.
okay, so at least we're diluting the vinegar a little bit.
Yep.
I hope you guys can hear that.
So has anyone tried this?
No.
Shrub is new to everyone.
Yeah,
New
Well,
to
I
me.
did. I watched that Monty Python movie.
strawberries.
Yeah,
that's what I keep hearing is shrub, but I don't think that's what you're saying.
shrub.
Shrub.
Is it a cherub or a shrub?
I can't believe. So I'm like hanging out in Germantown doing the most hipster thing here. This
Hell
feels great. I've won.
Yes.
I'll say even with the water, it still
Jesus.
smells like.
Just light and floral. Like I'm
It's
sticking with
refreshing.
that hibiscusy,
Yeah.
like magnolia blossom, like rose hips kind of vibe.
I love
Oh,
the tasting
that's-
notes.
Terribly wonderful.
This is just smelling.
So good.
So I mean,
Oh yeah, it's great, dude. Light, bright, fresh.
Yeah.
It's almost
It's
like
good.
agua fresca kind of vibes.
it gives a lot of good just general kombucha vibes. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just something to add to like. I only drink things with bubbles in it.
Sure.
That's a
Mhm.
rule I have in life.
Mhm.
So that means a lot of soda water if I'm trying not to be drunk.
Otherwise, you're drinking tap water, and then the government's putting that shit in your brain, and
Don't
you're
trust
like,
it.
"Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?"
No, I did get around. I did get around to kegging the water for the kegerator.
Oh,
So now I have a constant stream of seltzer water, and then I just get those like the little Mio squirt bottles things, and
There you
just
go.
every new glass.
yeah. This is a Mio. It's a Mio that you
Next
make
thing
yourself.
you know, Michael Moeller salts acids, perfecting the Tito or the Topo Chico.
Hell yeah!
yeah.
David,
I'm
tell
for
me
it.
you don't like that.
This is fantastic.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
Can we get this guy like
so
a,
good.
a
It's
hamburger
refreshing.
with no cheese?
You're talking to
no
the guy who was
condiments,
trying to buy chicken
just a
rings at
bun on
White
meat,
Castle
please?
right before
A
we started the podcast.
let's talk about it. Okay. So a hamburger does not come with cheese.
That's
Then it
true.
would be a cheeseburger.
That is true.
Yikes.
I follow that logic. That checks out.
Okay.
And
What
if
about
you-
everything else?
If you go to White
any
Castle, they
response?
won't serve you. It's fine.
So we're talking a lot about that your
I was
travels.
describing a hamburger, obviously.
The term
I just
hamburger
wanted to make it
implies
very
no
clear.
cheese.
No cheese.
also doesn't have
nothing
ham.
on it. Just bread and meat. David Sauer's
Louisville's
special.
home of the cheeseburger.
I'm-
right.
Yeah, Ollie's Trolley, baby.
I don't buy that.
I kind of
Not
want to try
like-
this
Hey,
experiment.
Kalen's, yeah.
If we do the
Ooh.
The
horseradish
day after the fucking
vodka,
hamburger was made, someone was like, "I'm gonna put cheese on that." The day.
That's 80-20. 80-20 Kalen's is where the cheese
Yep.
specifically.
allegedly.
The
Kalen's.
term.
I think we missed
Cheeseburger,
a
I think, is
small
where it is.
act of war committed where John.
I just
put
poured the horseradish vodka into the shrub. Yeah, let's see.
This is an act of
Oh,
war.
God.
It's like a sweet savory.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah,
All right.
it's amazing.
I mean, we have
It's
more.
amazing.
All right.
We have more if you.
It
have to-
it kind of balances out the kind of earthy garlickiness with the sweet herbalness. I think you guys are
That
onto something
horseradish
here.
is potent though.
Sure,
all the
yeah, I'll do
all the
it.
It is
smells
potent.
Let's
It is
do
potent.
this.
This
You guys
is.
are-
Can I just say
Oh,
this
that
is
was
lovely?
a healthy
Thank you,
amount.
dude.
Yeah, dude, it is. It is quite
That's great.
lovely.
You guys are.
I
Thank
think
you.
you
Thank
did
you all for bringing these.
Fantastically.
I don't
Um,
thank you for any of this.
No, this is great. This is
Cheers.
great. Top.
Cheers to David Satterley.
Definitely a top 5. Show
You
and tell.
complain, David, but your chances of getting scurvy have just gone down by like 400%, even though it is like the hottest part of the year and we're all baked.
So we talked a little bit about good, places to get beer around the country, where you all have traveled from, and how Louisville is situated in that long list of states or places to get beer, rather. Wisconsin is up there, of course. Wisconsin as a state has a great beer presence between Milwaukee, Madison, and everywhere else that exists in Wisconsin that nobody knows about.
Door County,
I'm sure it's
shout
great.
out.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But we actually have an opportunity to go to Great Taste of the Midwest this weekend on Saturday. David and I will be going. John, sorry, you can't join us.
That's okay. Some of us have to
Bring
live
back
in.
a case of spotted cow
Yeah, you gotta get
and
the
a
spotted
case
cow.
of serendipity.
We'll do our best.
They don't sell
Absolutely.
cases, but just make it happen.
Say hi to Peter Pan for me.
I'll just buy that.
You lost-
amount.
lost
Specifically
boys.
case, please. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, absolutely.
So by the time this podcast airs, we have already gone to Great Taste of Midwest. This is the 35th year of this festival occurring. It's put on every year by the local homebrew club, which is amazing. But they do give you a quick. Yes, thank you for adjusting my mic. They give you a quick rundown of all the breweries that are going to be present, and we're looking at some true Midwest, decision making, featuring breweries from Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, North Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, and Wisconsin, of course.
Can I ask a preface question? Who organizes this?
We just said it.
Yeah, I just said that.
But what's the organization name?
It's the homebrew club.
It's
that
the
they
homebrew
have.
club,
From.
Wisconsin.
So they started this?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
incredible.
35 years ago.
That's incredible.
So we're going to run through a quick list. And if you've heard of this brewery, just say aye, comment, whatever. But this is how you know you're in the Midwest. Obviously, from Kentucky, we're kind of Midwest. We kind of claim that sometimes.
We're
but-
right on the border. We identify as Southern and Midwestern.
Correct. Because it's the draw.
Especially in Louisville.
And also the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louisville.
So we do have
Agreed.
two breweries that are interested in going. One being Against the Grain
Heard it.
and Fall
I've-
City Brew.
Heard of it.
Are we supposed to be doing this? Or was this people listening along?
Well, I don't want them shouting in their cars while they're listening to
Fall
this.
City beer.
I
And
will-
they cut some.
I will say, if you're going through
God.
this entire list, we're gonna have to rapid
No,
fire.
no. It's gonna be fast. So Three Floyds Brewing Company.
Heard it.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Broad Ripple.
Yep. I love Broad Ripple.
Okay. Sun King. We're all from
Yep.
that.
Shout out.
Lafayette Brewing Company.
I know
Sounds
Lafayette,
familiar.
Indiana, but I
no,
don't know
and
the
now we're
brewery.
getting into the Missouri side.
Okay.
So, quick jaunt from Kentucky. Second Shift Brewing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
really? Four Hands.
Yes.
Yep. Perennial.
Oh yeah.
Perennial?
Schlafly,
Oh,
Oh, Schlafly. Yeah.
heard of them. Yeah.
Urban Chestnut, which is a gem if you ever get to St.
Mhm.
Louis. There's a couple of these I don't know.
Their
so
tap room is super nice.
It is. It's huge
Haven't
too.
been. Just tried their beer.
What'd you think?
Okay.
That's fine.
No specific feedback. I remember trying it like in passing once where I wasn't very
It's
like,
amazing.
in the moment. It was just like in a glass.
It's amazing just how the bar is usually not bad. Like, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
No, like that. It didn't. I was doing things.
couple breweries from Iowa I'm familiar with, I guess. So Back Pocket Brewing.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Big Grove Brewing.
Nope.
Pulpit Rock Brewing.
Nope.
Toppling Goliath Brewing.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. We get
This
here
is the
now.
best segment we've ever come up with. David just reads things and we say if we heard them or not.
Nope. Yep. Nope.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we're going into Illinois territory. Cruz Bronca Brewing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, stay tuned.
Distill.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Distill.
No.
You've never heard of Distill?
I don't know things. I'm not a nerd like you
It's
guise.
fine. We're moving on. Half Acre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot Butcher.
Nope.
Little Beaver Brewery.
Little.
Nope.
Little.
You've
like
never heard
LIL.
of Little Beaver Brewery?
Little Beaver.
Oh my god, they make the best brown ale.
I subscribed to them on
okay.
Spotify.
Don't know it.
Next
Seriously?
segment. David Brown.
Solemn Oath. Una Ani.
Solemn Oath,
so
I have heard of.
This segment is over.
No,
You guys don't know any of these.
Dude, I was living. I just moved.
You just
I-
said you
in, like,
traveled the country.
in COVID. I moved to like the
Coast
Midwest.
to coast.
Like we haven't
Nothing
gotten
in
to go to
between.
St. Louis.
No
Yeah,
mid.
it was like East Coast to West Coast.
so you're just the
I'm
east-west
now,
guy, no
like,
mid.
not
What
yet.
makes a great beer festival
I'm hoping to
is
explore.
a place where you can come and try all these places you've never heard of. That's why people come to this thing, and that's why it's so exciting.
1,400 beers.
That's amazing. And
That's a lot.
put on by a homebrew club.
yeah, that's the thing I'm like freaking out about, honestly. Like you
Tony Stark did it in a cave with a box of scraps.
yeah, exactly. Perfect. That's a perfect analogy, honestly. And they got a really good site map on the back. Like this is beer festivals done to the nth degree. I feel like you guys are going to like the 1908 World's Fair or whatever.
No, actually it started in 1987, so it's aged 35 years.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this reminds me of like a great coming together of great ideas, like American industrialists back in the quote unquote Gilded Age.
and they have some speakers as well that will be there giving seminars, talks.
You're making me jealous.
I know that's what they're
Yeah.
trying to do.
Why-
They're just trying to make us jealous.
Why
That's
can't
the
I
whole-
go?
That's the whole point of
Thanks
this
for
segment.
the
I'm just
invite,
saying,
guys.
this beer fest
just
has
saying.
been in existence more than 4 out of 5 people on this podcast have been in existence.
You want to know the real reason to hate David and Michael about this is they have media passes too. So you guys are going to be rocking and rolling, and we'll try
Fair
to get some
enough.
good content out of that to share with you guys on our Patreon.
There it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Advertisement in chief.
Yeah.
Gets paid for.
But then, of course, when we get back, I'm really excited. I mean, we also just stay tuned. That we were going to have great conversations on our way there with Goose Island and in Revolution, maybe Cruz Blanca as well, through the podcast. So stay tuned if that happens. I think it will. All good.
It's happening.
But you've lived in Chicago for a little bit too, so we're heading over to Chicago first. Is there a can't miss spot that I didn't just say?
I don't know what the can't miss spots are anymore. Like I've
Yeah.
been away for like
But you're still like aware.
yeah. Like beer related. So
Sure.
when I was in Chicago, my favorite brewery was Half Acre.
Yeah,
So I'd go up to
Daisy Cutter.
and
Yeah.
it's just such a good
classic.
like refreshing beer. Loved it. I'll always every time I go through Chicago, I pick up some
Do you want anything?
Daisy Cutter.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the science museums.
But I'm also going through Chicago on Friday on my way to my first fish show, 3-day fish show.
Oh hell
That's
yeah!
not that's not a show. That's a weekend. That's a run. Okay.
Yeah, is there a better word I should be using?
A run.
Okay, a fish run. I'm going to a fish run.
You're going to a run. It's fine. 3-day run. Whatever.
Amazing.
You will have an excellent 1,000 years on that weekend of just exploring space and time.
Kyle, I know that you have a lot of experience in the culinary space as well. What do you know about Chicago's eatery scene?
Eatery scene. I haven't gotten to explore it that much. We have some friends that used to live in the Loop and then they live in Itasca. But I did have some periphery in a bar I helped open in Seattle I was just opening staff, no mastermind or whatever. It was a rooftop concept in a Thompson Hotel.
Cool.
And they tried to set it up to be similar to the aviary. So I started looking at all this stuff from the aviary. We did not end up achieving that, but it was fascinating to read about that bar and like the high level of food that's in that area and just kind of explore. But personally, I haven't really gotten to go. My wife has gone a ton for her work.
Yeah,
But
good for her.
yeah,
Good for her.
yeah, she.
Yeah, Chicago's fun. Chicago's a
She goes through
big
there.
city, man. It's big.
But yeah, our friends, they lived on the Loop. Now they live in Itasca. I'm trying to remember. There was a IPA centric brewery that we went to with them that was a block from their house that was really good, but I'm spacing on the name.
Noon
of it.
Whistle?
No,
Maplewood.
All right, let's go through the rest of the list, David.
I'm going to listen to it.
Maplewood was
Hot
the
Butcher?
No,
Okay.
I remember they had googly eyes on the tank that was in the window when you're in the tap room, which I found very amusing.
So I was in Chicago recently, and I did go. It was outside the city. There's a brewery called Goldfinger, or Gold. I hope that's what it's called.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinch.
Was it the lager spot?
Yeah, but it's like Czech lager spot.
Gold digger.
It was and it was great.
Well, I'm glad you got the name right.
We'll put that in post.
I'll just
We can edit this, right?
I'll just go
Goldfinger.
gold. There we go.
Gold.
Well, it's going to be a great trip. Really excited for these 4 days with David, I guess.
This has been
it'll
the
be
Michael
fun.
and David bragging segment of the Kentucky Comments Radio.
Yeah, it's
Hour.
going to be fun, John. But, I'm going to be really excited to get back, though, from Madison and Chicago and come back to Louisville because we have a couple of cool events in Louisville happening.
Hell yeah.
Gravely is actually celebrating their 5th anniversary on August 17th.
Hard to believe.
Oh wow,
And
I love them.
it's a yeah.
Sprockets is amazing. I
Yep.
love Nick, the brewer. Like 10 out of 10.
Best rooftop. That's not a rooftop deck, but best elevated place to drink beer at a local brewery in town.
Hopewell is the name of this brewery.
Hopewell.
Sorry, I had
Ah,
to look it up.
you guys are basically there.
No.
Basically got it.
GH.
No,
No,
his.
different place.
Okay.
No, no.
okay.
The brewery I went to with my friends.
I'm gonna be
Ryan was outside.
We're just going with it.
Oh gosh.
Well, so Gravely is celebrating their 5th anniversary technically on August 17th, but it's going to be a week-long party. Starting on August 15th, Monday, they're going to do a Master of Reality and Cosmonauts Bourbon Age tappings. So they don't do a whole lot of barrel-aged, like big stouts, right? Not a whole lot. So it's really fun when they do. 8/16 on Tuesday, they're doing debut of Unwind, a cloudberry seltzer, which sure, we'll try that. Wednesday, $5 drafts all day long, entire tap list. So that sounds awesome. If I can get a $5 draft of Master of Reality and Cosmonauts, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
How tall is that pour?
Depends on how narrow the glass
I'm sure
is.
it's a good pour. Thursday, there's a Cellar Collection release, barrel aged sour bottles. So Gravely's sour collections. I love all those that they do. They're all fantastic. Friday, they're debuting Wildberry barrel aged sour release. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's gonna be great though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try it
Their
out.
sour stuff's good too. They make good little funky, wild, fruity things and great lagers
And
and
then
IPAs.
And then, if that wasn't enough already, you celebrated 5 days in a row at Gravely. Just walk down the road on Saturday, August 20th, for Highwire's 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
1 year.
Wow.
Okay, so it seems like
Feels like
Gravely should have
yesterday.
been there. 5 years for Gravely seems crazy, but 1 year for Highwire seems shorter than they've been there. That's nuts.
Time is weird, man.
Time is
I don't
weird.
know.
It's flat circle.
It's a construct. They
We,
said.
we have
Yeah.
so this is straight from
It's
the
that government
Highwire.
water.
This is straight from the Highwire Instagram post. Noon to midnight. That's 12 hours of fun on August 20th. We have a fun lined up for the whole family, including party games for kids and adults, a photo booth with props,
Hell yeah.
Flutterbrush Entertainment. I don't know what that is. I'm sure they're great. Oh wait, with airbrush tattoos and face painting. I want to be a lizard. So
Let's go.
I'll do that. Then they're doing a West Coast inspired dance party from 9 p.m. to midnight with DJ Phantom. I don't know who DJ Phantom is. Do you know who DJ Phantom is?
How do people on the West Coast dance?
It's West Coast inspired.
Probably
da-
better.
Probably
It's a
better,
West Coast
yeah.
Honestly.
inspired dance party. So maybe the
more
party is
saturated
different.
for sure.
More weed. I don't know.
More bitter?
providing music for this super rad glow party, we'll be tapping our latest West Coast IPA, providing glow sticks, glow glasses, LED finger lights, and other neon accessories, so they are ready when the lights go down. Also, guys, this is the best part.
All
John
right.
Renane, this is for you.
All right.
Glow body paint is encouraged.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I can finally use up that gallon I bought on Amazon last year.
I'm not saying that Highwire wants you to do a bunch of ecstasy before going, but I'm sure you would fit right in.
Yeah, you're not saying that either. So, you know, in Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you cover the extremities, can you go in with just paint?
Like a body paint that Gravely just did.
There's only one way to find out, David Satterley. There's
Yeah.
only one way to find out.
Well, it's not much to cover, so I could do it. But
Also in Louisville beer news, the Kentucky homebrew competition at the state fair is happening tomorrow, I think. So by the time you guys listen to this, they'll probably have announced all the winners. So future shout out to all of the homebrewers who won awards in the state fair this year. Now, you guys should probably start a great taste of Kentucky Beer Festival and try to live up to these
Hey, come on,
Madison,
loggers.
Wisconsin guys. Yeah, we'll help. We're here, so let's have a conversation. But yeah, congrats
We'll
to
come
all the
drink.
great homebrewers for all the awards that you will inevitably have had won this weekend, past, present.
So before we wrap up here, I just want to know, like, when can we anticipate Trellis maybe potentially kind of sort of opening so I can get a beer there? Do we have?
Can't say it. If we say a date, we're gonna miss the date.
I know, but like,
It's Minecraft.
It's not 2025, so like it's gonna be sooner than that. I hope.
I've had a lot of dates
Yeah, coming
just
next year.
missed.
My goal is before a month of next year.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So
Very
at
specific.
the latest of December 2023.
So you're saying if I should write a date on my calendar right now?
December 2020. Get a tattoo. And
So you guys are
maybe.
in late planning phases and soon to start build out, hopefully, and then to start
Yeah,
kind of
we-
sharing soon.
I mean, we are very close, and once we have details, we will share them. We are hoping to break ground shortly after that.
Yeah,
So
we do have an Instagram
It's-
at Trellis Brewing
Excellent.
where
Okay.
people can follow. Like we'll post any updates there. Right now we have a logo. Or
Yeah.
half of a logo. We have the logo without any logo text.
Well, hey, man.
We're being mysterious and we're putting things out slowly.
Starting
Oh,
to tell that story now is how you build those like 300 raving customers that just kind of help create.
We've got
you know?
200 followers.
There you
so-
go. You're 2/3 of the way
That's
there.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if they showed up at least a few times a week, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I
Like, that's
forgot
all
to
we-
mention earlier on the taproom inspiration. Will you all have a rock wall that you can climb because like Trellis lifts everyone up?
That's a bold initiative. If Louisville Ale Trail wants to fund one, I mean, we're not against it.
Oh yeah,
Once that,
Well,
sponsor.
The answer
Yeah,
is no.
sponsored rock walls
but
were always
I- I-
about-
And if
Wow.
David
Rock walls are
Satterley
good.
dies while he's trying to build it, we will forever call it the David Satterley Memoriam Rock Wall at Trellis Beer
And
Company.
Do you
It might
put
be worth
a,
it.
Yeah.
a stone on his grave, or do you like hang it?
I think you just you hang it.
You climb it.
Yeah, it's
You
at the
climb
top.
it.
Yeah,
It's at the
there's.
top.
But I'm not very
yeah.
tall.
I slipped on
so-
David Satterley today.
and that's the t-shirt.
That's the T-shirt.
If you guys make money on my passing,
We might.
You get a cut.
We'll
get you a cut.
I guess-
Mocha, the dog, will get a cut.
Please,
Yeah.
please take care of my dog.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so other than Trellis, do y'all have anything that you'd like to plug that you want people to know about? Like, I mean, it could be anything. Do you like new
Trellis?
restaurants or
What do we want to plug?
yeah? What's
I
going
don't know
on?
what's going on in your
Oh.
lives. It's exciting.
Sorry
and
to
fun.
put you on the spot.
New TV show.
BLTs need to be plugged right now.
The
The bacon, lettuce, and
sandwich.
tomato sandwich
Fuck yeah,
is
Uh,
the best sandwich in the world. And in August is the month
Heirloom
that the BLT
tomato
should
season.
shine. Yeah, you have tomatoes from August.
Fuck yes.
Slice them up, salt on the tomatoes.
Good local source bacon. You can make them with
Ooh.
faking too. We
Tomatoes
do them
do
sometimes.
shine.
For those vegetarians out there,
But the bacon is like
the chew.
It's like
the
a-
bite. Yeah.
no, it's like a seasoning. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
tomato sandwich with like a little bit of bacon.
Yeah.
You want to highlight the tomatoes.
A good slathering
In
of
August,
mayo.
which everyone should be doing this month.
All right. So mustard on your BLT or just mayo?
No, just mayo.
All right.
Duke's mayo. Of
All right,
course.
all right.
Ooh,
Horseradish?
Dukes is
Horseradish on a BLT.
No, I'm
Specific.
purist.
No, I'm going horseradish.
Horseradish
and spicy
vodka with
mustard.
it. Sure.
Yeah, they're okay.
Why
I had a
There you go.
BLT for dinner. That's why it's on my mind. I don't know. I didn't want to
Oh,
say
you
like,
ate dinner?
yeah.
No, that's
I have not had dinner yet, but
Okay.
I'm going to
Delicious.
that BLT, that Spring Street pop up at High Horse. So
Oh, heck
that's
yeah.
on my mind. They're doing burgers and
Is this your shout out?
Yeah. Kyle,
Spring
what do you
Street
got?
coming up. Spring Street at High Horse, all the people that have taught me all the beer things. That's what's on my mind right now.
All right.
Yeah.
That counts. John?
I'm going to shout out Adobe InDesign, which is where I've been living for the past 48 hours as Louisville Ale Trail finishes up another secret project we've been working on. But speaking of good local businesses, you know what's really fun in town is like one of the really cool things about Louisville too is how many immigrant-owned and just kind of international food cuisine type restaurants exist in this town. Isn't that crazy?
It's a weird segue.
Yeah.
So
Well,
something completely unrelated. that we're not
unrelated.
gonna talk about
So
anymore. Yeah.
we'll fill you guys in a few weeks, but secret project.
David, what do you got?
Yeah,
we go.
I think my segue this week is gonna not be White Castle.
Yeah.
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 But shout out Louisville Zoo. Okay. Lots of good
Ooh.
events. Whole year.
Great.
Got Brew at the Zoo coming up. That's a great fundraiser for the zoo. You get to have a couple beers, go into the zoo, see a couple animals. They might do a little special display. But the zoo is a really special place for Louisville. Rated, pretty top high in the Midwest.
It's a good
if you
zoo.
will.
It's a good
It's
zoo.
a great zoo.
It's manageable to do in like a couple hours.
Mhm.
So
I
it's like
know-
a quick trip.
People that do it specifically for the exercise portion,
No.
but the
And
zoo is excellent.
if you really like to support the zoo, West 6 Nulu this Saturday. Sorry, actually, the podcast will already be out by then, but I'm going to plug it anyway.
Yeah.
West 6 does their nickel program at the tap room there, where you get something with the nickel and
You can support
either
a local cause.
If you order a flight, you will receive a nickel. You can either use the nickel to get a discount on merchandise, or you can contribute the nickel back to the charitable cause of choice.
Wow.
Yes, and
Wow.
I believe part of that is with the zoo. No, wait, you know what? I think I got that wrong because they're just giving. This is how nice West 6 is. They're doing 2 nonprofit specials this weekend. The nickel program is going to St. John's Center, and then they're doing 6% of proceeds going back to Friends of the Zoo.
Let's go, Friends of the Zoo.
That's amazing.
Heck yeah.
Good for them.
All about it. Halloween to the zoo. Shout out.
And shout out to St.
Halloween
John's
at the
Center
zoo
for
is
doing
fun.
all the good work that they
I
do.
love people that help. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, helping's nice. Always, as Mr. Rogers said, always look for the helpers in a disaster.
Speaking of which, thank you guys for helping us have great podcast guests this week and for filling us in on the story of Trellis. Everybody out there, make sure you follow them on Instagram, anywhere else that you guys are.
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Can someone help John with this therapy?
Yeah, and that would help too.
So, to wrap it all up, Kyle, Ryan, thank you all so much for joining tonight. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast. The drinks were delicious. It was great to learn more about Trellis, and everybody else out there. Be you.
Go to the zoo.
Thanks, guys.
Go to the zoo.